Coming to you from Erie, Pennsylvania, it's the Xhibit One Podcast with Mike Golab.
What's up, everybody? This is Mike here on our 5th episode of this podcast series. And today's guest, we have a good friend of mine, a very talented individual herself, Symoné, Allison.
Whoa.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm super glad to be here.
Yeah, definitely. So what's going on? What's new?
Not much. Just kind of getting back to, normalcy, per se, after the whole pandemic took place. So, basically trying to get back into Tales Behind the Creative, get that started, and, just trying to live life to the fullest, since clearly we only have one life to live with all this craziness going on, so.
Right. I definitely. So I was talking to you. You mentioned you're doing your snowboarding.
Yes. So this past weekend, I finally got to make it to the peak. I've been wanting to go for years. I mean, obviously we live in Erie. We'll always have to deal with the snow, even though I hate it. I was like, all right, let me at least give this a try and try something new. So yeah, took on snowboarding. Everyone told me I should have skied first, but I'm a rebel. So snowboarding it was for me. And, just had a couple tumbles, just a few. Nothing too crazy. Well, actually pretty crazy. I thought I dislocated it, but I think it's just just a really, really bad bruise. Check that bad boy out. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
But it was worth it. It was worth the memories. I had a really, really good time. I landed one jump at least, so that was pretty cool. It was a baby one, but I did it. I was like, you just gotta go for it,
Oh man, yeah. I tried snowboarding one time.
Okay.
I think I was like 13 or something like that, and it wasn't like at the peak or anything. It was just like at like one of the parks that have like a steep hill.
Okay, right.
And they have a ramp down the bottom, like sledding, but just like if you can go. Mind you, there was no baby step. There's no tutoring or teaching how to do this. They just said, hey, just put on a snowboard, ankle straps.
Exactly.
I'm like, mind you, I tried skateboarding in the past. I just
same.
don't have the same balance.
Right.
They said, like, well, aren't you supposed to know how to skateboard first? And like, no, don't worry about that. Just be fun. Right. So, and of course, at first you're standing up fine, and then once you push down, you're like this, and then all of a sudden
you get wobbly.
I started rolling down the hill and just boom.
Yeah, as soon as you start going, it's done. Especially there, when you get to the really, really tall hills, you almost try and go into the ravine almost, and it's really, really crazy. So at one point I was just crawling because I didn't want to take the board off and lose it, which is what happened the last time we went down the hill. I took the board off and I lost it in the ravine. So
Well, remember too, normally if you're rolling down a hill, you can land on your feet.
Right, exactly. But they're strapped in, so you can't move them. All you have is your hands and your butt.
Yeah, and so, but you have the board on your feet. And so what happens? You roll, you try to step on it, and you're like, you can't catch yourself because it's still like this giant plastic board on it. So you still roll, and I just remember the frustration of not being able to land on my feet.
Right. No, that was the same exact thing for me. Especially even trying to get onto the lift, it was really hard to get scoot across.
Yeah,
you have to figure it out to maneuver your 1 foot behind and scoot yourself up and then try and get on there. It was a lot. It was a lot. I think next time I'll just try skiing or just tubing. Let's just keep it real simple and do that.
I mean, I think you're still gonna fall though. I mean, if you're not used, skiing might seem like it'd be easier, but then you still got your.
They usually say you lose the ski every time that you biff it, too.
I bet. I can just picture, myself doing a full split and just,
That's what I said. That's what I was like, I don't want to do that. That would not be pleasant at all. Just, rip your whole pants, cause a whole scene.
Right, yeah. just like tear a groin muscle or something.
Yeah, no.
How long were you out of commission for after that?
So what is it? This is day 3 now of recovery. So I'm a little bit more limber.
Yeah, okay.
You know, the second day, like, I got in my bed and it hurt to get into bed. So I knew something was up. The next day, it was pretty all right. I took like a nice warm bubble bath. So took a little bit of the tension away from the muscles. And now, like, today I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Well, we're definitely not 15 anymore. So
hey, you know what? That's why you gotta stick like to this when you're younger, for sure. Like,
I mean,
because the little kids are so cute and they're killing it out there. They're more resilient. Like, I'm busted, only 26.
They can fall down and get back up like it. They might cry for a second, and you're like, they're not in bed for like a week and a half.
Exactly.
What did I do that for? like my son and I, like, just a couple years ago, when we had this monster snowfall, like before Christmas, like
okay,
I
think I
almost
remember
like this year, but it's like 2 years ago.
Was that the record-breaking week?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
like
I was here for
inches
that.
of snow, whatever
yes.
it was. And I remember it was Christmas Eve. Christmas morning, I woke up. My son asked me, "Where's my car at?" And I said, "It's in the driveway. Like, it's always there."
Right.
No, I don't see it there. And I look out the window, and I see just a pile of snow over where my car is at. Like,
right.
Oh, my car's buried. How much snow did we get? I mean, it
was unreal. I remember we opened up the front door and it was at least halfway or not even more of snow. And that's because I lived in Pittsburgh then. I couldn't go back to Pittsburgh because they had shut down the highways.
Huh.
That's how crazy it was that year. That was super, super nuts.
But so you remember I don't know if kids still play anymore because everybody wants to be inside. But then they remember the King of the Mountain? Okay, so when we were kids, we used to have this. We had like a giant like a hot pile of snow, like a mountain of it.
Okay.
Usually after like say at playgrounds, they will plow it, whatever.
Yep.
And the goal King of the Mountain is to climb up the top of the mountain first, and then push anybody else down off the mountain.
I never played that game. That sounds vicious.
It is a vicious game. It's definitely a physical game. Like someone always got hurt and.
Okay, see, I didn't play.
Schools didn't encourage it because they thought it was bullying or something, which I could see it, but
we lived in different times.
climbing on the snow mountain. But yeah, we built that, and anyways, when I saw when I was shuttling my car out of the driveway,
right,
we were slowly building the snow mountain, and I thought I was a kid. I was like, yo. Then I decided to jump off the snow mountain into like another pile of snow somewhere else.
Did you bust it?
Oh, I landed on my shoulder. I heard this crack. I was like, oh.
Uh-oh.
And immediately, I felt like I was 14 on the snow mountain. I felt like I was 80 on the ground. It's like, yeah, that was...
I love it.
Yeah, my shoulder hasn't been the same since.
Okay,
so
really? That bad?
I don't think I got looked at. It wasn't like, I didn't break anything.
Right.
But
see, that's like, I should have gone to the hospital, but I was like, we'll just wait for the bruise to go away.
We'll
see what
happens.
happens.
See how I feel in about 4 days.
It feels the same as the other side, so I think we're good.
Oh.
It went limp for a second, but I think I popped it back in. We're good.
Fine, occasionally we'll just, crack.
Exactly. Wouldn't be, my knees do the same, so why not bring it up to the arms as well, Let's go.
Man.
26, but 62.
I see you had to flip the numbers around.
Yep,
so.
That's all I do. Keep it simple.
Yeah. So, other than your snowboarding talent, which I admire your bravery, it seems fun. I just because I know, just from like the fall, it's one of those things you don't feel to the next day or two. You're like,
right,
oh,
right. I mean, after I fell, I like went back, took a couple drinks, got back out there and tried it again.
Yeah.
You got to get back out and do it. It's all worth the memories. At the
Yeah,
end of
that's
the day,
true.
And now I can say at least that, I live in Erie, so at least I finally went snowboarding. I made it a thing. So
nice. You did that around here?
I did. So it was at Peak and Peak, and then literally the week before I had went sledding, and I haven't done that in years either.
Sledding.
When's the last time you went sledding? Have you taken your son sledding anytime recently here?
I haven't had a chance this year, which is. Well, now we got a lot of snow. It's just like the few times we decided we wanted to do it, we didn't have a lot of snow.
Right.
And so, even last year wasn't as much snow. This year is a lot more. So, yeah, we've had
a few weeks, but
sledding. See, I can do sledding and not feel like I'm broken afterwards.
Exactly. Yes.
We had garbage cans for kids, like a garbage bag.
The
garbage lids. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I use too. You know what? It works. Whatever works, as long as you're getting down the hill.
Yep. Just like even like tubes and stuff, and just go down it. And, So I love sledding.
Sledding is a lot of fun. And like I said, I haven't done it in a couple years, but I did it at the Erie Golf Course. That's the first time I did it up there because I usually always used to do it at Frontier Park. They have really, really cool hills for sure.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Well, that's cool. So, yeah, besides that, what else? Are you working on anything right now as far as like projects and so forth?
So right now, I'm trying to get back into Tales Behind the Creative. So obviously, I had that started back in like end of March, kind of.
Yeah.
So
can you tell everybody what's that?
Yeah. So Tales Behind the Creative is basically kind of like a podcast, television. Kind of want to resemble it to like a late night TV show type of thing. Mm-hmm. But just me interviewing local creatives. For now, I'll expand later on. But whether creatives that be, musicians, artists, entrepreneurs, whatever a type of creative could be, a cook, so just being able to give them a little bit more exposure because we have so many creatives here in the Erie community.
Right.
And let them have, their story be told. So we always get to see them just while they're doing their creative acts, but we never really get to hear their story behind it.
Right.
So, that's why I thought it would be really, really genuine, gives them a chance to get that little bit more exposure and just people to get that connection more with them besides just hearing the music that they produce or seeing the art that they put out.
Right. Well, that gives you that helps you build your platform while also building somebody else's.
Exactly.
Or at least even if they already have one established, you're still giving them the recognition. So
right. Because I'm a journalist, obviously I work for the Erie Reader as well. So and I've always found that drive for journalism in the alternative side. So. Because I'm not really here about all the politics and this and that. I like to look at the positives in life. I'm a very bubbly and happy person. Yeah. Anyone will tell you that for sure. So I figured it would just be something good, especially since I started it during the pandemic when it started. It was something to give people to look forward to, something to kind of uplift the spirits when we were so down.
Right. Did you go to school for journalism?
I did. So I went to Edinburgh basically for the first half of my schooling. Then I finished off at Robert Morris out in Pittsburgh. So I got my bachelor's degree out there in communications, focused in broadcast journalism. And I started working for the Erie Reader, I want to say was March of 2019 was when I started with them. So, yeah.
Nice.
So,
almost 2 years ago. Nice.
Right, because I graduated in 2018, so kind of hopped into it a year afterwards. So
what inspired you to do that?
So basically, I always knew I wanted to be the center of attention.
So no surprise.
Exactly. You know me, I'm the most the biggest extrovert you will ever meet.
Yeah. There's not a. I don't think there's any introvert about you that I know.
Not at all. I could try so hard, but it's not gonna happen. But, I always when I was in school, I always wanted to be an actress, a model, and then I started to grow up a little bit, and I was like, well, let me kind of make something that might be a little bit more feasible. Everyone wants to do that. So let me think about something I can go to school for that'll still kind of encompass that. Mm-hmm. So I thought about it, and I was like, I could be a news reporter. That puts me in front of the camera.
Well, okay, there you
and
go.
then it's there are a lot of people that want to do it, but I can go and get schooling for it and, keep up with the times. And then I evolved with it, and I was like, well, I really, really like, music. And I love when, I get to see people, journalists interview, musicians, and I was like, this is really cool. Right. So, and it's instead of the typical sad stuff that you see every day when you turn on the TV,
this is enough of that.
Exactly, it's way too much of it, and I'm sick of hearing about fake news. You can't make fake news
out
of alternative journalism. I'm literally just speaking about a person, and it's all facts. So I can't get called out any fake news. I'm sick of that. I don't want to hear
any
none of that.
Checking it, fact check.
Exactly. So that's why I kind of came up with the idea to get into journalism. And then ever since then, I never thought I would be more in the writing realm of it. But since working with the Erie Reader, I've kind of fell in love with that aspect of it as well.
The writing, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because it's definitely a trait that you need to have in the journalism field for sure. But
yeah, I mean, especially, like I said, being in front of the camera. See, I'm I'm so I don't want to say I'm opposite. I'm starting to.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We kind of like opposites.
We are definitely, anyways. But like, I'm starting to, open up a little more and not be as shy. Like I'll still, when it comes to like films, like we've done a lot of projects together, so it was really awesome. And but like I remember just like when I started this film journey, I was always comfortable being behind the camera, or even like not so much being in front of it or talking in the microphone. Like this is new. This is me kind of getting used to.
I like this.
This is
new for me too.
Yeah,
this is my first time doing this type of style, so I'm here for it though.
Nice. Yeah. So this is definitely. I think for me I didn't like my own voice.
Okay, right.
I think most people don't. Right now, with the headphones, you hear yourself as you're hearing. As opposed to taking it off, you don't hear as much. But over time, and I had this conversation with C the other day, actually. He was in here. And just getting used, it took me, I'll say a couple years to start to really get used to hearing my voice.
Right.
When you talk, you hear it one way, and then everybody else hears it differently.
Right.
But after you hear it so many times, you start to kind of hear it no matter what. Yeah, so now even when you talk out loud, it sounds like it is.
Yeah, I've definitely gotten used to it after a little bit. But I used to hate the sound of my voice, too, even though every time I turned around, like, especially me being a server, I would always get people be like, wow, like, I really love the sound of your voice. And that was another thing that kind of maybe got me into journalism. So, like, you should be a TV newscaster, or you should be on the radio. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should.
Right on.
And now here we are.
That's awesome. As you know, we've done some short films, and what was some of your favorite parts of working on set for?
Honestly, just like getting into actual acting was like really, really exciting for me because, like I said, when I was younger, I like wanted to try and be an actress, but I never really tried to put it in. I've tried out for a couple like roles here and there, just within the past couple years. But being able to actually like get into it, especially with you guys, was a lot of fun. Just trying to like actually do it. And then just like working with you guys in general was probably like the biggest highlight that I had. I just was like really grateful that you guys kind of brought me into the loop to be able to work with you because talented artists out here, like love him so much. Obviously he was on Tales Beyond the Creative. Love to get Gabe on there. He's the only one who hasn't been on there.
Yeah.
He's another talented guy. And just seeing how you guys put everything together is just so cool.
Yeah. It's all about like creating a team of not just, people that you have a same vision with or they have similar creativity, but also like maybe their own abilities to kind of put into one. So like I've watched other films, like different directors will have the same actors and actresses, and
right.
people on set because of that continuity.
Exactly, and it's just like you kind of have that relationship that becomes built up, and you know that you're going to get a good product with it at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I really, really liked it because especially just seeing behind the scenes, basically, because I always get to watch all your videos that you do of C. Brown's music videos, and just being able to see the work that you do because we see how long it takes, and then you just put something so short together. It's incredible. Because I've been fascinated with music videos a lot lately, so being able to kind of see what goes into it is incredible.
Yeah, most people when they watch videos, they see like, I mean, I'm sure if you watch it, you figure that there's work in, that there's obviously work put into it, but most people don't realize how much is into it, how much work goes into it. Like a movie or say music videos are mostly around 3 to 4 minutes.
Right. And you're probably shooting for hours and hours.
At least 4 or 5 hours of filming, and that's not including the editing time. So
right, that's something else.
There's certain things that people do, or certain like foods that's only like Smith's hot dog. Like
yep, okay, yep, we're all about our Smith. Like that is a staple of the
more
community.
So like everybody eats hot dogs in some form. Hot dogs everywhere, but ox roast.
See, I've never eaten ox roast. I'm not a big ox roast fan.
You live in Erie.
I know. I'm sorry. I suck. Someone take my Erie card away.
Do you like roast beef?
It's hit or miss.
Okay, well, if you like roast beef and you like ox roast, if you don't, then
Okay.
you won't like it. But it's the same thing. I think it is.
I should probably give it a go.
There's a slight difference. Maybe it's seasoned different. I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
have to get some ox roast after this.
Because when I was talking to someone about it, they said, "What's ox roast?" I said, "You don't know what ox roast is?"
I've
Like,
definitely
no.
heard of it. I've always seen like the big jugs that they have.
I don't know anybody who actually is from outside Erie ever heard of ox roast.
Really? It's really only an area thing.
If
I mean, I've never seen it anywhere else.
I want to see if
but
someone puts in the comment section of this. Like,
they're gonna be like, wait, no, you're lying.
I'm from California. I heard ox roast. I'm like, yeah, okay. You heard that from here, probably.
Yeah, buddy.
Ox roast, yeah. But because I remember when I was a kid, and I was fed ox roast. We had to make ox roast,
yeah.
make out sandwiches and stuff, whatever.
Right.
I was like, is this actual ox meat? And it's not.
It's not?
No.
What kind of meat is it?
I don't know.
Oh, well, that's a good.
I should probably.
Someone needs to figure that out.
Oh, you know. No,
Somebody tell
someone
us.
told me it wasn't an ox.
It's gotta be though. Why are they calling it ox
Maybe,
roast?
I don't know. Listen,
That's weird. Google. Alexa.
I probably shouldn't even said that now. Like it's ox roast. Maybe I'll just.
Yeah, look it up.
Let me see here.
Fun facts.
I feel like I have to get some closure out of this here, because if not, someone's gonna be like, this guy's he's misleading.
We can't be left wondering.
We'll say Google is ox roast.
Really made from ox. Is ox roast roasted from ox?
We'll see. Let me see here.
We're gonna find out.
Okay. See, I thought that it said, and it's just on Google. Don't take my word for it. Ox roast is not made from ox. It is roast beef sliced and then braised in au. I don't know. Apparently, apparently it's seasoned. That's what I thought it was. I knew I was right. It's not made for an
you
ox.
were told truth. Wow.
It's just roast beef. I figure it's either
so just roasted.
it's either seasoned or roasted differently in something.
Okay.
I don't know. But yeah.
Well, fun fact of the day.
Someone's like,
I'm telling
"That's
everybody this.
Fake news.
Fake news. There we go.
Go ahead and fact check it. You know.
I'm gonna get fake news stickers and put them on all the ox roasts I can find. This is fake. This is like really cool experience. Definitely brings me to the podcast realm. Makes me kind of like want to take on like the radio aspect of journalism next for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get my feet wet into that.
Well, this is kind of almost similar to what you do with Tales Behind the Creative.
Right. Basically, like when I was first doing it, it was all through Zoom meeting. So it was all through Facebook Live as well. So no time for edits. Everything is just going to happen then and there. So those were always like really fun interviews for sure, because you never know what's going to happen. And you just have to go with the flow. At that point, you can't just delete it and, you know, and let it go forever. You just got to make it. And it's more genuine too. But I think it'll be more interesting to kind of switch it up a little bit and get the editing aspect to it. Right. Just to make things a little bit more crisp, a little bit more professional per se. But plus, it'll just be nice to give my audience a different perspective as well, especially for the creatives, because when we can do different interviews like in their studio, or I have a membership at Camp Media here, super cool place. If you guys don't know about it, definitely go check it out. But I would love to do interviews there too in their studio, and probably try this out a couple times if not too. So
yeah, definitely.
It's good to like definitely keep things different, and I think you know that. You always are bringing out different content all the time with your production company.
Try to. You go back to like the Zoom. I don't know. I tried the Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
And I'm not a not a real fan of Zoom. Like I guess it helps.
Why not?
It helps. Well,
What's so wrong with Zoom?
Just the video qualities.
Okay, yeah. Honestly, that's
the video and audio qualities. If I'm a quality, like I love good quality sound and visual. Right. So the content can be great.
Right.
Like you had great content on your film, and so but that it's not your fault. Like or not saying I'm not saying about yours. Just in general, I tread lightly. I'm like,
you're good. You're good. Oh, watch it.
Watch it. No, I just like for me, I guess I should use myself as an example. When I was doing documentary interviews, I use Zoom. you keep in mind with the COVID happened, you know,
Right.
a lot of people didn't want to meet in public.
Right.
It was just, we're told also too to like, you know, stay home.
Right.
So I was like, well, I still have to, you know, I still have to get this stuff out there. I still have to film. Like, how do I? Well, Zoom helped out a little bit, but I remember I had like a couple interviews and I had to like redo to more of a professional look. I didn't like the Zoom. It's like the camera would just cut off weird, and like I had to learn how to do the split cameras because you have
right.
And I didn't know how to do that at first. I was like, why does it show? It'll talk and it'll flip over, and I wanted at the same time, but then like still also do that if I needed to. Just didn't like unless you brought like a professional camera to the house to set it up or somehow, which defeats the purpose of having the whole stay home thing. So like So that was my frustration with.
I definitely had a couple times where I would have audio problems. Majority was my problem for sure because I had a couple times where I think it was even C. Brown's interview. The whole time I couldn't get the audio to link up with it. So we ended up, I had to like record it on my phone. It was something weird, but it was a pain in the buns.
Well, yeah.
So, you know, but that's what you get anytime with technology.
The point is that you're trial and error. Like you're trying to go through the motions, learning how to do stuff. I mean, I guess you can take classes for stuff, certain things, but when you're just starting out, you're just like I just want to jump in and just
exactly. I just want to go ahead and start doing it, especially because I pushed off for doing this for a really long time because Tales Behind the Creative was not always Tales Behind the Creative. It was going to be Tales Behind the Torch, and I was going.
What?
So this is how I branched off with Tales Behind the Creative because. My ex-boyfriend was a glassblower, and I really fell in love with that form of art. And I thought it was really, really intriguing. So, like, this is a design, like, I put the design together, and he put it, and I got to see him put it together in person. And from that, I was already in college at the time. So I was like, well, let me go ahead and think of something that I would want to do. Because one of my production classes I had, we had to actually, like, be a director and come up with like a show. So I was like, I would do Tales Behind the Torch, and I would have him come on and do an interview and kind of learn a little bit more about how he got into the craft, you know, what it is to him, learn about tools, and then get to that, you know, that showcase.
Right.
So from there, I was like, after I graduated and started to think about it a little bit more, I was like, that's just too broad. And I live in Erie, and there's probably 3 glass blowers that I know of. So I would have ran out of people to interview really quick.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me try and make this a little bit more realistic, a little bit more wider option. So I was like, okay, let's do Tales Behind the Artist. But me, that's just too basic. So I was like, all right, what can be better than artists? Like an artist can, you know, include musicians and this and that. But I was like, but, you know, if I want to put entrepreneurs in or cooks, like, are they per se artists? So I was like, why don't we do creative? Because creative is a little bit more broad and it includes a lot more different types of art forms per se. So
nice.
That was the evolution of it.
That's the story behind it.
Yeah, the story behind the tales behind the creative.
Tales behind the tales.
And then I thought about it and I'm just a creative person as well, so it kind of speaks about me. The hostess with the samostess, like an actual podcast where I have like all my girlfriends come on and we just talk about like our failed relationship lives. And then it'll be, I think this would be a good one though. So my girlfriend was thinking about we could start one and we could be like in the kitchen cooking because I love to cook. That's another nice little pastime that I have. And then we could just like making soup, you know, making some soup or making some seafood because that's basically all I ever cook. Where we just like talk about our favorite relationship things. But I was like, I think it would be just cool to just have it like a podcast setting, just keep it nice and cool. And it would be If the Shoe Fits. Isn't that a good name? See, look at all the good names I come up with. Yeah.
We got
If the shoe, because I was gonna be If the shoe fits, wear it. But if the shoe fits, just
give it
just nice and short.
They get the concept.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, okay. So,
nice.
And then I was like, oh, well, that's just probably going to ruin my future love life. Because I'm like, oh, man, don't mess with her. You'll end up on that show.
On the next episode.
Yo,
they were talking about you.
It sounds like that shoe. It sounds like the shoe fits.
Making soup back there and seafood and talking about this. Oh,
Like,
make you famous on this show.
oh man, seriously though. See, one way or another, it has to happen.
I just want to be there for the food.
Exactly. I think that's another reason I kind of got this drive from for journalism per se. It's because I've always been like in the service industry, so I've always constantly been talking to people. I mean, I started out in fast food, but then from there, kind of got into the actual.
I can just imagine you on drive-through, like just.
Oh my gosh, I never did drive-through. I used to hate drive-through because I worked at my first place was Long John Silver's.
Oh, that'd be.
And they wanted me to. I hated working there. Oh, it was the worst. Coming home smelling like hush puppies.
I love the hush puppies.
I don't like hush puppies. They're not for me.
We're cutting this off now.
Not for me, dog. And I worked at Subway.
You know, like
eat fresh.
Do you like fried food?
Yeah.
Well, hush puppies.
I love working. I love working the fryers. I love working the fryers.
What don't you like hush puppies?
They're weird. I don't.
All it is just, fried bread. It's really all it is.
I don't like it. It's not good. I don't know. It's too like doughy.
I need some hush puppies here. I have to.
Do we still have that Long John Silver on? What is it? 26th, 32nd?
No,
because we used to have the one. I worked at the one that was on Peach.
They're slowly going away.
They are. They're a hot commodity. Oh, we have from Long John Silver's to Subway. And then I've worked in retail a couple times as well, but I don't know. I just love talking to people.
I can just imagine you just working the front, just drive through, like someone's like ordering food, and you're just like, I don't know. Say if somebody like says the wrong thing to you, like, oh, I didn't want pickles on his burgers.
I'm like, I'm not the one to keep it pushing.
Yeah, move it.
But actually, no, I'd probably be the one to be like, oh man, I hate that too. So
I hate pickles too.
I hate when people leave pickles. Every time I go to McDonald's, I always say no pickles, and there's always a pickle.
I do love pickles, though. I do love pickles. But I worked in fast food for so long.
Yeah.
When I was younger. I haven't done it in years, but I worked. My first job was a fast food job, and I remember seeing people come in, and they're so distressed over one mistake.
For real.
Now I can see if you like. I don't know. You got your food and you drove back like an hour back home, which I don't know who would wait an hour to get home.
Exactly, it's cold.
Man, I had to drive an hour and a half in this blizzard.
That is the worst though. Sometimes like you're like, all right, I want to wait till I get home to eat this, and then it's like they didn't put something in there. Whoa. It's like when you go to like the Chinese, I remember the one time they didn't put my fried rice in there. You know how upset I was? I was like, all I have is a General Tso's chicken and there's no fried rice.
Oh, my fried rice.
I need the fried rice. It's a whole combination.
You gotta put it's an experience, yeah.
It's an experience.
I dip the chicken in the rice and it sticks to the.
Yes, exactly.
Oh man,
stop it! I'm so.
But here's
hungry.
the thing, I would feel bad for people in that. Like, man, I'm sorry you pay for food you want, but what bothered me, and I know you know I'm talking about. You hear this when they say, "Yeah, I ordered this, and I didn't want onions on it. Oh, I'm sorry, I can fix that for you." Well, I ate half of it.
Exactly. That was the word. Oh my gosh, serving, honey. Tell me. Go to the table like this is actually this isn't cooked correctly, but it's like one bite left.
Especially like in restaurants, like
what? You can't do that. Oh, I didn't like this drink, but I drank the whole thing.
I drank the whole thing,
so can you take it off my bill?
You're like, you drank the whole thing.
Exactly. No.
See, if you order a steak and you eat like cut like all like this steak's not done well. It's
exactly.
But it's all gone. You're like it just wasn't well. You ate
but
it.
I was hungry, so I ate it. No, you should have came and flagged me down if you were that hungry. I'm like, this isn't it. Take it back.
I remember as I worked at Taco Bell, my first job.
Okay.
Oof. And someone came in like they had all this. They had a thing called a grande combo. Okay. When they had like 10 tacos or 12. It's like 10 probably. Mm-hmm. And the lady was like, I didn't want lettuce on these tacos. So, okay. So she took the lettuce off, but she ate the tacos. And I said, okay, well, if you want now, again,
no, she didn't. That's wild.
Things are different now. Back then, they would tell you, okay, well, they want the food back.
Yeah, right.
And we'll replace it because if not, you're getting like now they just get the taco. We'll give it. Yeah, it's a new thing they're doing. I noticed that like, if someone messed up my food, I was like, you want it back?
Right.
They're like, no, just keep it. I'm like, oh, so wait a minute, hold on. There's a loophole in here. So
there's a loophole.
So I can order something, and it's all about being honest. But
it is right.
But there's a lot of people take advantage of that. So let's say if they, like, if you order, like, say, cheeseburgers or something, and you got everything you asked for, all you have to do is say, hey, I actually didn't want tomatoes on it.
Right.
And they'll say, oh, I'm pretty sure you didn't ask for, no, I said no tomatoes. Even if you know they didn't say that.
Exactly.
They have to still go back and, like, give me another burger or something.
Right, yeah. It's the worst. I've had that happen multiple times.
Well, fast food places will let you just keep the burger. We'll get a new one. If you go to like, other places, restaurants, like, well, I'll just take the food back and get a new one. So that's still, some places still practice that because of that reason. Or, I mean, I guess I'll just pick the tomatoes off, but some people are like, well,
some people are really
tomato
really
seeds
picky.
are on that burger, and I gotta scrape it off, and now it's on there, and I don't want to touch my food with it.
Yeah, no, I've had a couple places where, you know, they'll be like, oh, if the food's touching, that's a big thing. I hate when people are like that. I'm like, come on, just mix it all together.
Exactly.
Oh, service industry, food industry. That's one heck of a one to work in.
You mentioned about COVID weight, you said? Like,
yes. See, it's real. Like, they talk about the freshmen, like 15, you know, no. COVID, like the COVID-19. It's a real... Because I think it might have been 19 extra pounds that I gained. And I'm really upset about it.
I actually lost weight the first month.
Okay.
Well, because I wasn't drinking.
Okay.
I was just going to bars all the time. And so
the
one good thing about it is I still like to drink my beer occasionally. I just don't do it as much as I used to. The bars don't really, it's not the same anymore.
It's
kind of like,
it's like really, and it's more restricted. Like, especially being someone who's like me, who loves to like go out there and dance and mingle from table to table, because I know a lot of people there.
Yeah.
So it's so hard now. Like, you get yelled at if you like walk just like a couple feet away from your table without your mask. I remember going to Coconut Joe's in the summer when all this stuff happened, and like you had to sit at your table. You couldn't even dance you couldn't even dance at your table. I got yelled at for dancing at my table. I said, what am I going to do? Is COVID going to get at me because I'm dancing at my table? I don't get it.
Yeah. It's,
I mean, I hate it. I'm not really big. I do like to be around a lot of people, but not like that many people in a condensed amount of space, you know? Just like you don't want all these sweaty people rubbing all up on you.
Okay, I was going to say, like, I don't mind all up. Then you said sweaty people.
You're like, oh, okay, wait a second.
When you say it like that, now it sounds bad. And I don't want sweaty people hanging over me.
Exactly. It starts,
you know, so.
It's the whole atmosphere. But yeah, it's definitely different, but it's nice that we can start to go back out again. I mean, especially after the second shutdown. I was just like,
right.
Because I miss it. I love just seeing my people. And being able to support them, too. Because currently, I worked at Cloud9, so we're still closed right now until we can get up to 100%. So I'm glad that I can...
You guys stay closed the entire time until 100%?
Yeah, because we're kind of a little bit smaller than most. And we have a catered clientele as well. We don't really have many people that come there as often as we'd like, you know? So...
How did he get by?
It's really hard. He was exhausting his fun. Bertrand's working really, really hard. But we're waiting for full capacity whenever that can happen. Because it was just like he had to suffice. Either, you know, he would go under or just take a break and hope for the best in, you know, the future. Because we have to wait for, you know, the Warner Theaters, because we drew a lot of our clientele from baseball games and hockey games. And, you know, without that, you know, you're not bringing any business in. So, and without a patio, too, you only have, we had like 8 tables in the restaurant. So, not much to work with.
Yeah, it's hard.
You know?
It's just crazy, like, how it all happened. I mean, not to go too deep into it, but I remember just when it happened back in March, which is almost a year now.
Right. That's crazy to think.
When it happened, everybody was saying 2 weeks.
Right, exactly.
A month at most, and I was one of those people that bought into that because I couldn't imagine like the economy.
Exactly, that's what I did too.
Like no sports.
I was like, they said they're gonna open up on the 30th. Whoa.
Yeah,
nope. And they're like, nope, another 2 weeks.
And then another month.
And
and we went into like 4 months into it before we finally started seeing things open back up a little bit. I had to go out of town to go to a restaurant.
Yes, that was a lot of people were doing that. They were going over to Ohio.
Yeah.
People remember because we didn't have the liquor stores open here, so everyone had to go get their liquor.
Yeah. For me, I just try to use that as a way for me to like get away from drinking as much anymore.
I was like, this is like a sign.
That's how I got into film writing because I was bored.
Right, and this is how I got in Tales Beyond the Creative. There are good things that did come out of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of negative that people can, harp on, but
it's just that tells you there's people that will focus on the positive, and there's people that focus on the negative. But I don't know.
Thing about your rat race documentary.
Exactly. That has something to do with it. As far as the negative mindset.
Right.
And so, but that's what I took that. Don't get it wrong.
And I think it also deals with like the time of life you're in as well, for sure.
Yeah.
Because I think if this could have happened a few years ago with what I was dealing with in life, I probably wouldn't let this take a negative toll on me. But because of it kind of happened at a good time. And at least for us. So, woo! Sorry to anyone else, but be positive. Stay positive. That's what we have to do.
Exactly. So, I was going to say something else, but
it's all right. I do it all the time. My memory's been poor lately.
Yeah, I think it's just I'm adjusting to early mornings now, so
gotta get back into that schedule.
Yeah, and I don't drink coffee, so
I don't either. I'm not a big coffee person. It hurts my tummy.
Listen, I love the taste of coffee. I love the smell of coffee.
Okay.
But the reason why I don't drink it is because it does something with like I get like the jitters or something.
Yes, I hate that when you're shaking.
Yeah, and I don't,
it's like
it's not like I don't need much coffee at all. Like I could drink like half a cup and then I start feeling it. Like
right, exactly.
How strong is this coffee? It's not. Did you put espressos in there?
That's like some Bang energy drinks. I've been drinking those, but those will knock you out.
Knock you out? Energy drinks knock you out?
Like, not knock me out, but I'm like knock me out. Like,
yo, this energy drink's so awesome. You drink it, you fall asleep.
Well, it knocks you out because it bangs.
You go to sleep afterwards. You're like,
it knocks you out with energy.
So imagine the slogan, and it's just like this drink. It'll have a name for it. I'll say it will put you to sleep.
It's so good, it'll knock you out.
Because of the crash afterwards, you mean?
Yeah, somewhat. But they're not as bad because they don't have any sugars. That's why I like them.
Simone, do you have anything you want to tell people? Tell them as far as like where to find your work.
Yeah. So
how to hit you up.
Hit me up. Pull up in the DMs. So don't pull up my DMs, please, unless
too late for now to hear it.
Exactly. Actually, pull up my DMs and I might get hacked again, which happened. Watch your Facebook, guys. Everyone's getting hacked out here.
Change your passwords.
Change your passwords. Don't send money to people if they ask you. But Tales Beyond the Creative can be found on Facebook. I'm currently not able to have access into it because my private account got hacked. But you can look up my private account at Symoné Allison. There's an accent. There's a Y and an accent over the E. And then Symoné Allison as well on Instagram. You can find it on there. And then you can email me a theory reader as well, Symoné C. Theory Reader. And then you can get a hold of me for your Erie Reader articles or for an interview for Tales Beyond the Creative because I'm definitely trying to kick back into high gear with it. So
there it is.
Definitely pull up on me.
I was waiting for that.
The model's got to come. Pull up on me.
Yeah. I like it.
No, everything's unique. That's why it's a unicorn for the symbol, baby. One of a kind find. You won't find it anywhere else.
So now I know if I need help with names or slogans, just talk to you.
Just come to me. I've got you. We'll make it creative.